Hey everybody, Kevin Elliott here with Home Dabbler. I'm in the chicken yard this morning, as you can tell. I've had a few questions on my blog, homedabbler.com, about what do chickens need in their home? What do they need to live and be happy in their living space? So what I thought I would do is take you on a little tour of my chicken Shangri-La home here and show you the essential elements that every chicken house needs to have. First thing is that this is called, technically, this is the coop where they live. This enclosed space right here, most people think this is called the coop. This is really called the run. So just a little chicken terminology there. This is the run. This back here is the coop. And there really are only three elements to a chicken coop that they need and that you need for them to be happy and also for you to do all the stuff that you need with your chickens. So the first thing is actually the coop, what we think of as where the chickens sleep, okay? That is right back here in this little dark corner. Think about like this. Chickens are descended from jungle fowl that roam around on the ground. They like to roost, we call sleeping, roosting, on a short tree, low branches of a tree, or high in a bush. And what you have to do in your little coop there is recreate that condition. So you basically, I take 2x4 boards and I cut them in half, I rip them down the middle, and I use those to simulate tree branches. You don't need a lot of space in your coop. Chickens want to sleep really huddled up together, shoulder to shoulder. They just need a small box with a roof so they don't get wet that has those little perches in them, tree branch like things, for them to sleep on, and they're totally happy. That's it. The next one is everybody's favorite. It's where you get the eggs, and that is your nest box. This is my nest box right here, and you'll notice that I have it attached to the wall of my coop. And I do that for a couple of reasons. One is it's close to where the chickens are. Usually they want to lay an egg early in the morning, not always, but sometimes they lay early in the morning when they first get up. So they're sleeping in there. It just makes natural sense for them to go right here. Now, a couple things about your nest box that you need to know. First one is you want the nest box to be lower than the perches. Nest box lower than the perches. That's crucial because chickens want to sleep high on a tree branch. They want to lay their eggs low, down lower, and they want to feel like they're under a bush or under a pile of debris. They want to feel protected. They want to feel surrounded and dark. They need a dark little corner. And so what you do is you just create for them a dark little box that they can crawl into. They back in and they feel like their eggs are going to be protected from predators. All you have to do is put some little bedding in the bottom. It can be pine straw, it can be hay. We use paper from my office. We just, out of the shredder, I take all the shredder paper home and I bring it. It makes great bedding for the chickens. The other thing about your nest box that you will want to do is you want to have an access on the inside for chickens to get in, but you also want a door on the outside so you can check eggs. And here's what mine looks like. Okay, I put a quick little latch on there, and look, two chickens are laying eggs. Sorry, ladies, I'll leave you alone there. Okay, so that's what it looks like. They will crawl in there right next to each other. They'll lay their eggs, and then you can just come out when they're done and drop that door and collect all the eggs out. Okay, really, really easy. So coop, nest box, and then one element that most people don't even know they need until they start raising chickens is this little compartment over here. This compartment has two separate purposes. The first one is as a nursery. When you have babies, if you hatch babies or you go down to the farm and garden and you're going to hatch little day-old chickens, you want to raise your own. That's great. It's super fun. The only thing is that until those babies get to a certain size, they need to have their own space. They need to be away from the big girls. They need to be out of general population. And so you need a nursery here that they can go into and be safe, have their own food and water, and they just stay in there until they're a little bit bigger. The second use of that space is what we call a broody breaker. Now, your chickens every once in a while are not just going to want to lay eggs, they're going to want to set on eggs and make babies, okay? You may not want them to do this. We don't do this. We don't have roosters at my house, so we don't have any fertilized eggs. Now, the chickens don't know that. They just want to set on eggs every once in a while. The problem with that is that once chickens get into that mode, they get obsessed with setting on eggs, and they won't eat and they won't drink, and they'll just sit on those eggs for about 3 weeks. The problem with that is my eggs are never going to hatch. They're never going to make babies. And so it's not really healthy for them to just sit on those eggs. The only way to snap them out of it, and I know it's going to seem harsh to you the first time you do it, is to separate that chicken from the flock, put her in a box like this with food and water. She's going to be comfortable, but there are no eggs in there because when they're trying to set on eggs, they're not laying eggs. And so she won't have any eggs. And in just a couple of days, she will snap out of it, and then you can put her back out and she's totally fine. So those are your 3 elements of a little coop. It doesn't take much, as you can see. It doesn't have to be fancy. You just need a coop in there for them to sleep on with high perches. You need a nest box that's kind of low. It's dark, it's secluded, and it has some nice soft nesting material. And then a nursery / broody breaker box, okay? That's it. So you can build this in just about any place. If you're building a coop and you have questions and you don't quite know where to go, always message me through the Facebook page. I'll be happy to help. I've built tons of these things and I love it. So send your questions my way, have fun, make a great place, a Shangri-La for your chickens to live. Thanks.